So, good evening. On behalf of the American Friends Service Committee, Bill of Rights Defense Committee, the American Civil Liberties Union of Massachusetts, and the City of Northampton, I would like to sincerely thank you for coming to tonight's forum. We have some exciting speakers lined up for tonight, but first I'm excited to introduce a band of political folk singers who sing anthems of resistance with high-energy vocal harmony to nurture your hopes for that world. Please welcome Red Valley Fog. Bienvenidos en nombre de la Comité Occidental de Massachusetts, AFSC, la Unión de Libertades Americanas Civiles de Massachusetts, ACLU, la Comité Defensiva del Acto de Derechos de ORTC y el Ciudad de Northampton. Agradezco a todos por su asistencia en nuestro foro. Tenemos presentadores animados, pero primero estoy contento de introducir cantantes políticas que canten himnos de resistencia con energía alta que alimentan su esperanza por un mundo mejor. Por favor, dar la bienvenida a Red Valley Fog.
Thanks everybody for coming out. My name is Ben Grosscup. My friend Dan Ingalls. We're Red Valley Fog, and we have some songs tonight by Phil Oakes. This one is called Bracero, and it was written during the 1960s, and it was about basically the ways in which migrant labor is mistreated in this country, and the sort of existential dilemmas of being in that situation. And I think it says a lot about how people treat migrant labor in this country today.
Thirsty border, Bracero. Come bring your hungry body to the golden fields of plenty, from a peso to a penny, Bracero. Come pick the fruit of yellow, break the flower from the berry, purple grapes will fill your belly, Bracero. Welcome to California. While your muscles beg for mercy, Bracero. In the shade of your sombrero, drop your sweat upon the soil, like the fruit your youth can spoil, Bracero. Sleep in shacks that could be cages. They will take it from your wages, bracero. Come sing about tomorrow with a jingle of the dollar, and forget your crooked collar, bracero. Welcome to California, where a friendly farmer will take care of you, and the local men are lazy and they make too much of trouble. Besides, we have to pay them double, bracero. Oh, but if you feel you're falling, if you find the pace is killing, there are others who are willing, bracero. Welcome to California, where the friendly farmer will take care of you. Welcome to California, where the friendly farmer will take care of you.
Thank you, Red Valley Fog. Sorry, I'm nervous. Bear with me here. Again, thank you all for coming. My name is Bliss Requatrout. I'm an intern at the American Friends Service Committee, and we're all here tonight to focus on some important issues, preserving civil rights in our community. The Preserving Our Civil Rights campaign is a local campaign to protect and preserve the civil and constitutional rights of all people who live and work in Northampton. The campaign has three central and related themes, and those are to protect residents' Fourth Amendment rights to freedom from unwarranted domestic surveillance, to protect immigrants in our community, particularly in regards to unjust federal enforcement programs, and to address racial profiling in our community with a commitment to greater transparency and accountability. These three issues are overlapping and interconnected and unite people across identities and political concerns in the community of Northampton. Residents, citizens, immigrants, activists of color, white activists, community organizations, students, and everyone who lives in, everyone hear me okay? And everyone who lives and works in Northampton face shared concerns about maintaining and increasing access to civil and constitutional rights. Here with us tonight are 5 panelists to speak more deeply about the issues we face and the ways they're interrelated. In the first panel, we'll be hearing from 3 of the panelists who will speak to the 3 main themes of the campaign. In the following panel, we'll hear from all 5 of the speakers with a question and answer session. Our 5 panelists tonight are Falguni Sheth, professor at Hampshire College, Jasmine Torrejon from the Campaign for Justice for Jason, Bill Newman from the American Civil Liberties Union, Hazel Dardano, community activist with the Alliance to Develop Power, and Rich Hernandez from the Northampton Human Rights Commission. So now I'll pass it off to Falguni Sheth, and I just ask all of you to please introduce yourself a little more as you start. Thank you.
Okay. Well, is this on?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to be here today. Hello. Okay. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. This is a very important issue and one that's particularly close to my heart. I have to say I'm not a data person, so you're not going to get too much of that from me. I teach and write about politics over at Hampshire College, and I've been involved in a fair number of different kinds of immigrant rights issues over the last, especially 11 years. Somehow the last decade has motivated, I think, a number of us in ways that it didn't before. I was also on the Immigrant Rights Commission of San Francisco for a few years. I want to talk a little bit tonight about the Secure Communities bill and perhaps to kind of share a few thoughts on it. I don't think I have anything particularly insightful to say, but just want to make a couple comments about it. My understanding, and I'm just going to read a definition of what generally the Secure Communities bill is. It's an information sharing program between federal immigration and customs enforcement and local law enforcement agencies. Under Secure Communities, local jails run all arrestees' fingerprints through not only criminal databases, but also immigration databases in an effort to deport convicted drug traffickers, gang members, and other violent criminals. This screening happens even if the local prosecutor decides that there's no basis for a criminal charge. So it's kind of interesting to be here today. A couple years after, well, not even, right? A couple years after the election of President Obama. Is anybody shocked that we're here today? In a world in which apparently we thought all of this was going to go away. I gotta tell you, I'm not very shocked. It's a little sad that under the Obama administration, the war on terror, but also the war on immigrants has been ramped up. It makes George Bush look like my favorite uncle at this point. And in particular, I want to read you a couple statistics here. Apparently, ICE records show, and this is as of last August, that 79% of people who were deported under Secure Communities actually didn't have any criminal records. Neither had they been they'd been picked up for low-level offenses like traffic violations. Well, I mean, under that, I think I would have been deported about 40 times over, and or for juvenile mischief. And apparently, of the 47,000 people who've already been deported, only about 20% had been charged with or convicted of serious, quote, level 1 crimes, like assault and drug dealing. Now, also under Secure Communities, the national average of deportees with no criminal records was 27%, 26%. But that figure varied around the country. So in Maricopa County, Arizona, the figure was 54% of deportees who had no criminal records. In Travis County, Texas, it was 82%. So I guess I want to kind of reflect a little bit on what it means to talk about secure communities. I mean, presumably, the provenance behind this bill is to make our communities, I don't know, secure, right? Safe, something like that. And yet, in a way, what it's done is not only made our communities not secure, but really made them kind of hostile, violent, antagonistic, distrustful. And in a way, what we're looking at, and I use this term quite technically, not hysterically, but quite technically, we're looking at the urging upon us by the feds of a local police state. And by police state, what do I mean? What I mean is that a police state is one that has no checks and balances on authorities, neither on municipal authorities, nor on state authorities, nor on federal authorities. It's one at which any moment one can be at the mercy of a federal or a state or a local official, not because you've done something wrong, but merely because there's an authority in front of you. That's a police state. When you wake up and you're not actually sure what it is that you've done wrong, why it is that you're viewed as a criminal, but intrinsically, at the very core of your being, you know that you can be detained, jailed, deported, for no reason. Here's the other thing. A police state also doesn't acknowledge three things that we take for granted in a place, well, that I used to take for granted a decade ago, right? Writ of habeas corpus, in other words, the charge by which, right,